Hello, this is Sebastian Tames.
Vaping has become extremely common among our generation and has been considered an epidemic by worried parents or even world leaders. Although vaping may be advertised as a safer or even completely safe alternative to smoking, it is truly not. I am sure many people have asked themselves, is vaping really safe? Is it possible that its long-term effects on a person's health is worse than cigarettes? The invention of the e-cigarette is generally new, and not a lot of research has been completed on the long-term effect of vaping and nicotine consumption. I have gathered information that may support the statement that states vaping may contain some positive health benefits, as well as negative health issues it may cause for a person. So today, I will inform you of the positive and negative effects of using an e-cigarette. I am a qualified speaker for this topic since I have done a considerable amount of research on this interesting topic. I believe this topic is relevant to my audience because many teens and students have used an e-cigarette, and bringing awareness to the health benefits as well as cons of vaping is important. I will do this by informing you of the positive effects that include the opportunity to allow cigarette smokers to quit, and the way vaping is not as harsh as smoking, and the way vaping saves you money compared to smoking cigarettes, and how vaping contains a huge variety of e-juices with different levels of nicotine. I will then discuss the negative effects, which include the way vaping has many negative effects on a person's health, as well as how vaping may create a negative public reaction from other people. For instance, if you vape in a public space full of people that despise vaping, you will be criticized and judged just the same way you would be if you smoked cigarettes or even smoked weed. Most adults mainly see vaping as a horrible thing, yet they believe cigarettes are equally as bad as vaping, and that is not the case. The first point I have is that vaping allows cigarette smokers to quit using a method that is not as harsh and dangerous to the human body. Pro number one, vaping helps smokers quit. Vaping helps people quit smoking even if they don't want to. Studies show, a study by the University of East Anglia shows that smokers who switch to vaping are able to stay smoke-free in the long term. In a study by the University of East Anglia, there were even smokers that accidentally quit thanks to vaping. On the contrary, it is obvious that vaping is not healthy and 100% safe. So the second point I have is that vaping has many negative effects on a person's health. Long-term use of nicotine in vapes will cause addictions. It causes withdrawals for the person that removes nicotine from their body, and in turn causes the person to become sick with headaches, nausea, etc. Some studies even show it may cause popcorn lung, but not enough research has been done on that. And like I said, vaping is relatively new, so long-term negative effects caused by vaping are still unknown. The third point I have is a pro. This pro includes the way vaping saves money and how vaping contains a huge variety of e-juices with different levels of nicotine that are made to allow a smoker to quit the bad habit of cigarettes. Vaping helps people quit smoking even if they do not want to. Wait, did I already say this? Alright, yeah. Long-term use of nicotine in vapes will cause wait, what? What is happening? Vaping has a huge variety of e-cigarettes to choose from. At first, the consumer might not save money because it takes trial and error. It is like with realizing what is your favorite genre of music. The consumer experiences trial and error to figure out what he or she likes. However, over a long period of time, vaping is extremely cheaper compared to smoking a pack of cigarettes that costs up to $10 a day, as well as a lung cancer treatment that costs up to $100,000 over time at the hospital. With the cheaper alternative of an e-cigarette comes a wider variety of flavors compared to e-cigarettes. This is a graph of the cost of the year, the first year of vaping versus smoking. I don't know if you can see the numbers, but you can see the red and the blue. The third point I have, oh shit. Oh shit.
Right here, right there.
Alright, con number two, the negative stigma of vaping. The same way a person that smokes cigarettes gets judged by his peers for smoking, a person that vapes with an e-cig will as well. People often confuse vaping and smoking, The media often does not portray vaping properly. They might be biased against it. There are many myths about vaping, just like I said, because vaping is considerably new. Some studies are heavily biased towards vaping, like I said, and the word nicotine is automatically seen as bad. That's another graph. I got that from the Tobacco Reporter. It's another picture. And as you can see right here, cigarettes cost about $4,376 a year, while vaping only costs about $380. In conclusion, by informing you that vaping can have negative effects on a person's health, as well as many positive effects on a person's way of life, I hope you now understand the way vaping is not as bad as it seems, and it can help many people quit their smoking addictions. So will you choose to believe the media and the extremely strict cigarette-addicted parents of how vaping is an epidemic? I will let you decide, and I hope after listening to my speech, you have formed a reasonable and knowledgeable opinion.